Hello there, it's Lennart here, back with part 2 of Dexz. Today we're going to look at the modulation matrix. If you haven't watched the first part, you might want to look at that too. In that video I go through all the parameters, all the buttons and stuff here, on envelopes and stuff. And today we're going to focus on this, the modulation matrix. You have 12 slots here that you can use. But first, let's do like this. Oh, it disappeared. That's because I want to show you how to connect it all when you first start it. Because this is a modular system, you have to connect some things. You take the poly pitch here and connect it to that one, and the poly gate goes there, and poly velocity goes there. But then you want to use the pitch bend and the modulation wheel too. So we take the bend and connect it to bend. The mod wheel we connect to wheel. Still doesn't sound because we have to connect the outputs. Left out to left and right to right. And now we have a much too wide window, so let's shrink that down. This modulation matrix is really the heart of this synth. Let's first make a fast sound so we have something to work with. I don't know how this will sound, but just do something quick. That will do. Okay. So when I start Dexz, I have set up a start file that have all the connections that I want. But I thought we do it from scratch. Now this modulation matrix. The first row here are the sources, and the second row are the targets. And with these sliders that are numbered from 1 to 12, you decide how much positive or negative effect you want to have from the source to the target. The first thing I usually set up when I don't use my startup file, I recommend making a startup file, and we want to have play, we want to have the pitch, and we want that to go to all operators. Fine. No, not fine. Yes, fine. And we want to have the wheel, the modulation wheel. And we want to have the LFO1. We want the LFO1 to affect our operators. Fine. Yes. That's it. We change this to all operators octave. Let's see. Yeah, pitch works. And I usually set it up by letting the wheel change this modulation. Let's set this to 8 triplets, and the wheel goes to the mod slider number 3. Yes, there. And it's all just a matter of taste, how much vibrato you want. If you want less, you lower the slider a little bit more. But I would like a slower speed, I think. Oh, I had 16 triplets, not 8 triplets. Yeah, so that's that. We probably want to use the filter, and you have to do some setups there too. You have to take stack all stacks out. I explain a bit later what the stacks are, and you want that go to the filter in. Let's set up the filter a little quick here. And of course, you remember from the first video, you can change the filter envelope here. Doesn't sound right. What is this? Why does it sound like that? Is the pitch? No? Ah, I set up a pitch bend. I don't have to set that slider. As you can hear, I'm not a whiz when it comes to modular synthesizers. I'm learning. But I have a long way to go. Well, anyway, I think we have something in tune now. Yeah. Set it like that. Alright, so now we will have everything set up. This is how I wanted to look when I start. And now let's take a look at the sources. So what we have here, you have 1-2 pages with stuff, and you have the headlines here for what you want. You have on global here, you have just global off, you have all the LFOs here, the envelopes. The global envelope is a sum of all the envelopes here. Hans tried to explain that to me. I didn't quite get it, but you have the envelopes of the operators here too. And envelope 1, 2 and 3, which is this one, 1, 2 and 3. What else do you have? Operator out. That means the operator output can decide, for instance, filters and stuff. If I remember correctly, it's how high up you play on the keyboard, or low. I haven't used that one so much, but we can check it out. Let's do that right away, actually. And we can use the third operator there. Operator out, 3. Okay, what can we route that to? This is a whole lot of experimentation to see what cool thing you can do. So, detune. No, not detune. Not that one. All operators. All operators octave. And you must decide how much you want of it. Yes, I don't know if that is very beautiful, but you can do it. And of course, if you want the negative results of that, you lower the slider to negative. That's actually more interesting. If you want to clear this, you go to global and off. Right, that was operator out. We can take this stack now. Stack out. What is a stack? If you take this algorithm number 1, you have 2 stacks here, and it's a carrier and a modulator. And here is the second stack, a carrier and 3 modulators. That's 2 stacks in that one. Here you have 3 stacks, 1 stack, 2 stacks, and 3 stacks. And of course, if you will choose an algorithm like this, you have 6 stacks. Each modulator here, or each carrier here, is its own stack. So that is stacks. Let's continue with number 1 here and have some tea. You can't do this without tea. So that's the stacks. You have player control, you have velocity, you have pitch, you have random, you have the spread, and you have the drift, and the wheel and the bend. And you have the mod inputs. We'll be coming back to those. That's the global. On the LFOs, that's pretty obvious. The envelopes is pretty obvious. Operators out, that's where we were, yeah, on stacks. And you can choose, for instance, to have just the second stack go to the filter instead of the whole, both stacks. If you just want this to go to the filter, you can set that up. Here comes the mods. These are these. You have 4 mods jacks and we have 2 source jacks. You can use the source as modulators for different parameters, or instead of a carrier, but then you can't use the modulator to get an FM result from the carrier. But the modulation source, if you have an audio out that goes into the source, you can set it up so that the audio out from another module, an analog oscillator or something, or wavetable oscillator, but depending on what you have, can be instead of the carrier here, and it goes through the envelope and through the filter. These mods, you can use them as set them up to also change different parameters, and I will show a patch that I have used that in later, so you can see how it works. So those are the sources you have. There are 2 pages of sources, and those go to the modulators. And there you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So you have more targets than you have modulators. And if we go to global here, you can have global transpose, voice spread, voice drift, algorithm feedback, mono pitch control voltage, or mono gate. And these mods 1 to 12, it's these sliders here. This is slide number 5, and it goes to 12. And it's the same result as if you move the slider. It's just that you let some modulation move the slider for you. And you have the operators, all the 6 operators. You have the operator level, the octave, the fine tuning, the feedback, the tune, the phase, the pan, and the wave. The wave is this one. That only works on the folded waveforms here. You have sine, you have fold, you have square, and you have fold 2. So those you can use to modulate also. Use as a target. And it's the same for all of these. It's just you can concentrate on one if you know that you want to use one or change one operator or modulate it, you can just click on it and find the targets that are available. When you have all operators, it's the same targets, but it affects all the operators. You have the stacks, and you have stacks 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can change the stack level, the octave, the fine tuning, the feedback, the detune, the phase, the pan, and the wave for those two, just as for the operators. Then you can affect all carriers level, octave, fine, feedback, detune, phase, pan, wave, or modulators, the same. The filter, you have that as a target. Filter in, we use that when we connected all the stacks out to filter in. Filter cutoff, resonance, and filter amount. And the LFOs, you can modulate as LFO speed, and its shape, and its amount. The effects, that's reverb feedback, reverb tone, reverb detunes, reverb size, reverb mix, and character amount. This one. Then you have mono. I haven't used that, so I'm not quite qualified to speak about that. Operator mono pitch CV. I have yet to experiment with that. And the source. I wonder what that is. I haven't experimented with that either. Operator 1 source. Is it how much all the operators send to the source, or what is it? Well, as you notice, I will leave you with some things to experiment with yourself, because I haven't checked everything in this synth. It's so much. I have been concentrating on using the stuff I want in the matrix and making cool sounds. So that concludes the targets. You can make all kind of wonderful and cool stuff. So let's just try one thing. We have the LFO1 speed there. Let's try and change that and use envelope 1 to change the speed of LFO1 speed. And use it like that. I think we need to have a bigger view of the envelope. You hear it? It speeds up and speeds down. But it's still connected to the mod wheel. Can do something like this. I think this is best used when we don't have any modulation from the wheel. Right, let's try this. it a bit faster, I think. But let's it slowly come in. But not as much. Lower that one. And we can have it like that. And we lower, so we lower that one, so we don't get as fast initial vibrato. Yeah, that's more like it, but let's bump it up a bit. It would be interesting to use the pitch bend to slow the speed down when you bend downwards, and raise the speed when you bend up. Let's see if we can do that. LFO, not that one. Let's use the pitch bend. It's on play, pitch. No, we don't need that. Well, maybe we need it. Let's see. Doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Yes, I have found it. I know what mistake I made. I have to raise the slider here for the bends to affect the mod 3 amount, this slider here, and increase the LFO vibrato on all operators fine tuning. Okay, then let's try this. We have bend again, and we affect LFO1 speed. Yeah. Yes. Now it speeds up when we bend up, and it slows down when we bend down. Right, so how much is the right setting here? Not that. If I have it negative, what happens? Oh, then it goes faster when I bend down, and slower when I bend up. Alright, and if I have the on positive, I have to find some sweet spot here. The LFO goes faster when I bend up and slower when I bend down. Right, cool. I don't remember if I showed you the LFOs, but you have two modes. If you shift click, it turns black. This is free running speed, and if I shift click it, it's synced to the host. So let's take a look at what these mod jacks and source jacks can be used for. I have loaded a patch here where I have another module, also made by request for music, called Swarms. All these blobs bouncing around here are pitches. So what Swarm does is it takes a cloud of pitches that you can manipulate in different ways. The output here from the X coordinates of these swarms. I wrote it to the source input number 1, and source number 1 I wrote it to filter cutoff, and I get this. You hear the swarm is affecting the cutoff, and I have I'm using just the logic arpeggiator here, and I can of course manipulate all this, and can manipulate this, get another effect, filter close down to totally there. But that's a way to use the source jacks, and you can hook up any kind of a module here, depending on what modules you have, and use them to manipulate the sound of Dexz. Alright, if you have listened this far, you are a very patient person indeed. Thank you so very much. And all this follow and like buttons and stuff, you know what to do with those. I think that's it. I will be back with different programming sessions with Dexz and make some programming videos, you know, like I usually do. And we will be centered on Dexz a while until something else tickles my fancy. Okay, thanks you very much. And happy programming, and bye.